Okay, everyone. So we listen to some good or wonderful stories about success. There may be some differences from some candidate to another. However, we can have or we can listen to beautiful stories. Now we are going to listen to another story from Dr. Caleb. Dr. Caleb, I know you have a wonderful story about your success. So I am myself eager to listen to your story. How your study was motivated, and did you appear in the exam for or before, or it was your second time? How was your experience? You can speak in details.
Hello, Dr. Peter. How are you?
Caleb, I'm good, thank you.
Okay, it's very nice to catch up with you once again. So I know there are a few people who have joined us. So to be frank, this was my first attempt, and I was really skeptical about ADC exam. Like, will I be able to clear it in one go? Because I didn't want to waste a lot of time and effort. So that was my first point. So in regards to that, so I wanted to have a very good mentor. So I had no idea who to select or what coaching to attend or what person to assist. And at the same time, just like I was getting ready for this exam, one of my relatives who is actually in the group today, that person actually took your name and suggested that one of our friends had taken coaching from you, and that person is here with us today. But even though she did not give the exam, she put up a way for me. So that is how I contacted you in the first place. And I think, hello,
Yes, I'm listening.
Peter, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm listening.
So, so that person actually like told me just contact this person and how this is how it goes and so on. So that is how I contacted you. And from the very first moment, I felt like I had a very positive rapport with you. And you treated me like a very professional manner. So I was very pleased with that, and I thought like, okay, I will go ahead with this coaching. So just for the information of others who are taking the exam for the first time, the exam itself is a little tricky, but you need a good mentor to guide you. We have a lot of knowledge that we need to accumulate, but it's not that all bit of knowledge is totally what to say, what is up to the point for the exam. So we need a filter, someone to act like a filter, so that we need to focus our energies, concentrate on the right things, focus on what part of the questions and what is actually the expectation from that question. Hello?
Hello?
Hello? Yes,
Yes,
doctor.
now I hear you. Yes.
Yeah. So actually, where did I stop actually?
Pardon?
Where did I stop
You
actually?
just you just stopped at the very last minute. You just stopped, and your voice is cut off.
Okay. So for anyone who is like attempting, we need someone to act as a filter so that all the things that we study, they need to be streamlined. And I think Peter really helped me in that manner. Not just that, every question has a different aspect for which the ADC inspectors are looking for a particular answer. And so if we are trying to follow that mindset, like what is expected of us, and then I think the exam approach becomes a little easier all the way. So, and to be frank, I'm not the sharpest person, I'm not the smartest person. So anybody can pass, and that is the first thing I would like to say, that anybody can pass with the right success, with the right mentor. It's not that hard, but you just need to be consistent. That is the most valuable tip I understood from all the preparation for the last 4 months or so.
So we can say this was your first time to appear in the exam, right?
Yes, sir.
How was your score in this only attempt for the written exam, Dr. Karam?
It was A, B, A, B. I think I got two Bs. One was in diagnosis, and another one was in, I think, clinical interpretation. But in professionalism and treatment planning, I got AH.
How did you feel before and after the exam?
Actually, like anybody else. So being going to the first moment, it was actually very nervous. I did not sleep the night before the exam totally. Uh, even though I tried, nothing happened, and I had a very early morning schedule. So I was really nervous the first day, and I gave the exam. The first question I saw, I was totally calm because I knew that this is a question which I've already attempted. And then I went to the second question, third question, fourth question, and so on. First session entirely, almost let's say 60 to 80% of the questions, like I felt like all of the scenarios I've seen somewhere, I've revised somewhere, and it was not like a totally new thing. And moreover, we had several mock exams. So to be honest, I failed in all of the mock exams except the last one. So at the very last one,
Very
only the
stressful.
very last, yeah, yeah, I passed only at the very last one, and that too because so for maybe other instructors I don't know how they manage, but Dr. Peter keeps a very high standard of passing, and that makes it a bit hard. But that last one step was what I needed for like to be a little more positive. And I think the only thing that I carried into the mock test was, if I'm going to make mistakes, let me make the mistakes in the mock test and not the real one. And I think that has come a long way actually. And all the mistakes that I did, I used to note it down, and I used to go in, I used to revise. And honestly, we have a lot of study material, like lots of articles, textbook, even though those parts are very streamlined and you said these many chapters about. Since I work a full time, so it was very hard for me to study everything. That is first thing. Second thing, I was a bit lazy. So it was not all hard work, but I'd say that there was a compiled file which was updated many times. So over those many updations, I think each and every scenario, and I've repeated at least 5 to 6 times. And above and beyond, I have certain very respectful colleagues of mine in that discussion forum. Those doctors who were like ready to correct me, ready to give the best answers possible. They spend their time taking out of their personal time and spending to answer me the questions I put up. And there are certain doctors, I cannot name them all, but I'm very, very, very thankful to all those people. And second of all, like I thank, like what to say, I would like to thank Dr. Peter personally because I know I would have been one of the most irritating candidates because every single day I remember I started giving you at least 5 to 6 questions per day to clear my doubt. I,
It's all right.
I know.
All right for you and everyone to ask me. This is my
Yes,
responsibility. Yeah.
that is one part I would like to emphasize. Be free to ask questions. If you ask questions, you clear your doubt, and if you don't have time, especially uh, asking Peter is like the easier way out because if you if you spend your time, yeah, it is worth that it you will retain information, but you want it on a quick and correct basis. I think Dr. Peter is the right source for answers regarding ADC. And even if he doesn't know, he's going to take his time, he's going to search it out, and he's going to share it with you. So that way, I think is very good. And another thing is that the mindset of the ADC inspectors, what exam is select and the questions, what they are expecting from us. I think all those questions got answered in his weekly uh, theoretical classes because when he is explaining, it is important that you note every single thing down. And all those notes, even though you don't remember all those notes, when you put those things into practice, that is actually going to make your exam a lot easier. Practice only actually up to 1 month before the exam, I could not even picture the exam together. But after like, the entire course was completed, all the topics were completed. When you understood the format of the exam, then things started becoming a little more easier, and the mistakes started becoming a little fewer. And along with that, we had a beautiful compiled file and very, very helpful mentor, Dr. Peter. And he was very helpful in this manner. There is nothing I can do in gratitude towards you, but give a little open gratitude towards you.
Dr. Caleb, you told about the point of mock tests. You told me right now, which I understand, that you failed the first seven mock tests, right?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
you found this motivating or demotivating?
Actually, the very first mock test I attended with a mindset that there are multiple mock tests, so make use of it. Don't try to copy answers. Just be right. What is in your mind? You're free to make mistakes in mock test. And with making mistakes, I know that those mistakes can be corrected. Even those mistakes I started discussing with you. You said like this is the correct pattern, which is the correct pattern, and subsequently my doubt started clear little by little. And all through the mock test, you have been very supportive. I asked you many times what is the high passing grade or what can we not reduce it? Why is it so high? I know I asked you those questions, but you
Yeah, I
said
made
that.
it. I made it high, a high percentage rate because I understand ADC is refining. Like I mentioned in the classes, that they are making like if there are 600 people are appearing in the exam, they are refining this number. Okay, so they pass 300 at the beginning and then they start refining again until 150. If you check, by the way, I want everyone to go over the annual report of ADC, the passers in the written examination and the clinical examination of 21, 2021, 2022. And you can see that only 150 candidates are passing the written exam out of more than 600. So around 25% are passing every exam. So I have a point here. When you find a mentor, either me or some other mentor is giving a number like 100, 200 are passing the exam, this is really not interesting, let me say. This is not interesting because the official numbers, Caleb, the official numbers which are announced are not telling so. Okay, so we have to be very careful about the numbers. We need to check the official numbers, especially on ADC site. So the mock tests for you were still motivating or non-motivating?
It is actually motivating. No? All those exams, the first exam, let's say it was like easy. Second got harder. Third got even harder. I think exam up to exam number seven, I was the most hardest one. And exam eight was actually very easy. That is the only thing I passed. So, but you said one thing like if you pass this, then you would be able to pass the main exam, and you will feel like most of the questions would be very familiar, and I think it came true because exam 7 was pretty hard, but and that was the
I
hardest.
know. Come, let's go.
But I understand that some people are getting disappointed because they fail some mock tests. I understand this, but I have been always telling it's better to fail in a mock test rather than to fail the real one, right? What do you think?
Yeah, most definitely. No, it is actually very good to learn from the mistakes.
Sorry, Dr. Caleb, I had to mute everyone, and I'm giving the chance to you. Yes?
Hello.
Yeah.
So, like for me, actually, I went with this mindset. Like, even if you are making mistakes in the mock test, just learn from them. Make sure you do not make those same mistakes again in going into the final exam. And since I had a different mindset coming from a different country, I thought like answers might be little different. So that is why after every exam, I used to contact you like, is this right answer? Is this the right methodology? And you said like, let's stick to ADC for now and Australia,
Yeah.
and with other countries and everything. But I think it's all those points even during exam, no. Even in doubtful questions, I would used to think, what would people in Australia act? How would people in Australia act? And that is the mentality that I carried out all the time.
Do you
And
remember, Dr. Caleb, when you asked me about a question, I think 1 or 2 days before the exam, and I told you that ADC is on the side of the patient. You remember that?
ah, yes, 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 yes. That question actually came in the exam, and I can say that I remember the question very well. There was a patient who came for a crown, and somehow the doctor forgot to include that the crown has very different charges away from the RCT. And the question was, how will you respond to that question? What would be the? I think exactly it was framed perfectly for, based on my question. There was a wonderful option like, do not charge anything extra, since you did not get an informed consent for the patient regarding the crown. And all those discussions, I think most of them were coming in very handy. So like anyone who is going to attempt, make sure you ask a lot of questions. Don't feel shy or anything. Peter is a very, very open person. He's a very friendly person. So take your time, ask questions, make things easier for you. He is actually here to make things easier for you. And second thing, professional aspect. I don't know if many people know or not. There was another tutor who actually put some blame on Dr. Peter, and this was around 1 month before the exam. And
Yes.
I think so. That was a very old post, and I understood like that night I didn't sleep well. Like, am I following the right person? I should I ask him? Should I tell him? So the very next day I contacted him. I heard such a post, I've seen such a post, and is it real? And he said, like, in a very professional manner, he decided that it's not I've copied anything, but he just likes to complain. And even in those situations, he never disregarded his colleague, because he was very, very respectful towards the other person. And that thing I just recorded into my mind, set up into my mind, that this is the professional manner that I will follow. And actually I had one mindset. I know one doctor who I've spoken to before the exam. I decided whether if I'll pass or not, irrespective of that, whatever I've studied, and I know it is making my clinical life a lot better, my interaction with patients a lot better, my judgments as a doctor, I'm getting to know things better, understand better, I can come to diagnosis faster. And we should all take that point. The thing with studying for ADC is not just for passing the exam, but rather making use of it in your clinical aspect. So since I'm doing patients every day, and these factors are coming in all the time, the drug configurations, the drug allergies, the follow up, the diagnosis part. So I think I'm actually very, very, very grateful that I joined a good ADC course actually.
Thank you very much, Dr. Khaled, for your good review, and I would thank you personally because you have already you gave me the idea of having this meeting. That's why I'm personally give thanks to you for this. You told me
That's
that
because
we should make this meeting and we should uh, 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 give our reviews about our experience. So that's why I'm giving thanks to you now.
actually, I think because like there are other candidates who are like me, who are in doubt who to approach and what course to take. And regarding this, I met another colleague in my what to say in an exam center, and that person said that the coaching he attended, they had 550 candidates, and I would not like to take the name of that
Yes.
tutor, but he said like since there are a lot of candidates, he is not able to personally clear the doubts. So for me, I think what personally helped me was like the one who is able to clear my doubts on a personal basis. I think I prefer such a tutor over one who has a lot of fame or anything. So it is not about fame, it is personal relationship
Yes.
with your tutor, your personal performance. So I think anybody should go, not just Peter. If you have a good mentor, and that is the person you should follow. And for me, from my experience, I can gladly say that Dr. Peter is a very good mentor, very open person. He's freely approachable. I think most of the people are a little shy towards asking questions. But I say that take those thoughts off your mind, just approach him freely, even before joining also. And I know like I wanted this testimonial because there are times that we don't appreciate people. There are a lot of candidates who were in the group actually. They were continuously, discussing the questions, answering questions, discussing questions. More than I read the compiled file, I think I read those questions at least 50 times through the
How many
discussions in the
times,
WhatsApp.
excuse me, how many times you read the question of the compiled file? This is important.
Actually, in the compiled file, I read only twice. But
Twice.
then yeah, but in the discussion in the WhatsApp group, I think over through that, I've seen each questions around 40 to 50 times.
40 to 50. Wow.
Yeah. So I'm just saying that those WhatsApp groups are so helpful.
Yeah.
Even if we make mistakes in the WhatsApp group, Dr. Peter is readily there to correct us. We all have doubts. So that is the best part. And I would like to thank all of my colleagues who parted those exams. There are some doctors like Dr. Hira, Dr. Mehdi, Dr. Meher, there, Dr. Swati, and I think Dr. Hartleb, Hendrik, and so many others who actively participate in those conversations. I think those guys help me a lot and lot. So this is my time to, even though I don't personally know them, this is my time to give a little gratitude to them too. They've helped me a lot in this preparation.
Thank you, Dr. Caleb, for your wonderful review. It's highly appreciated. Thank you for everything you did. Thank you for your success. Your success and everyone's success in my group is mine success. Okay, this is very important. When you pass this exam, I'm like the one who did the exam. I wish I can. I am with you in the exam, but it's impossible. Thank you, Dr. Caleb. We have a final review with Dr. Shwetha. Dr. Shwetha. Hello.
Hello,
Hello,
doctor.
Shwetha.
How are
How are
you?
you? It's
I'm
nice
very
to see
good,
you
very happy.
in a review today. Can you just tell us a little bit about your success story? How did you manage to pass the exam and so on? Please.
Yeah, for sure. First of all, thank you, Dr. Peter, because when I started off with the journey, it was like I have no idea what to do, how to do, because I had recently moved from India to Australia. So things work in India in a very different way, and in Australia it's very different. Frankly speaking, when I decided to give my ADC exams, I had got all the materials from India, but I soon realized it's of no use because things here work very different. And all the materials I got from Dr. Peter saved my life. Like, they were so helpful, they were so good, and especially the compiled file, and obviously Dr. Peter's classes, which helped me a lot. So that gave me a very good knowledge and very good idea about what ADC is. So it was my very first attempt. Because I didn't have much time and I didn't know how to prepare, I couldn't unfortunately clear my first exam. I failed with 1C, and then again I had to take up my exam in September 2022. And because I had a lot of family issues happening again, then I couldn't clear exam because of another paper, that is infection information gathering. I failed that at the attempt. So this was my third attempt and happened to be the most difficult exam that I have given. So I lost hopes, telling I don't know what's going to happen. And third time I had no hopes at all, but fortunately I cleared the exam. So I'm very, very thankful for that. Because I used to work and I had family to take care of, and I had other personal things as well. So it was a very difficult journey because it's not easy. I had to work through the nights, I had sleepless nights and everything. And also I have to thank, as Caleb said, the WhatsApp group was very, very, very helpful because I learned a lot of things from WhatsApp group. I was going through the chats without missing even a single message. I don't know, even though I'm not so interactive, but people really help me a lot in understanding so many concepts. I have to thank each one of them. That made me learn even more a lot of things, because I was always like, I didn't know how to react in groups and how to get in touch with people. You can say I'm a bit introvert sort of a thing, but yes, it helped me a lot. The groups which was created, the compiled file, and your single word saying you have to stress on TG, on the infection control guidelines. I think I have read that over 10 times. I feel
Wow.
now I can like tell anything from TG, everything from TG, but still, yeah, we cannot say because we have gone it over and over. Even during my lunch hour or even during any free time, I used to travel somewhere. I used to go with the TG or infection control guidelines, or I'll have the compile file in my hair. Wherever I go, I used to travel with ADC material or whatever it is. I used to always be on my books, and even my family was like, what is happening? You're studying so much, and things like that. So yeah, always this was my best mate for entire 1.5 year. So yeah, all thanks to you, Dr. Peter.
You studied for how many hours every day, Dr. Shweta?
So I was studying for, I can
I'm
say,
asking
7
about the last
hours.
exam. The last exam. Yeah.
Yes, 7 hours. Because I had been to India. I met my family after 3 years. I came back from India, I think, end of January. And I was in a great dilemma if I had to take up March exam or not, because I was not sure. I just had 1 month's time. So I studied each and every minute wherever I get time. I used to sit and study. That's how I studied, doctor. 1 month straight. Whenever even I get single minute free time, I used to sit and study. Morning I used to get up, and then again in the night time I used to study. Again during work time, whenever I had some free time, I used to study. That's how I prepared for that 1 month straight. I don't know, I can't say in a stretch I studied for this many hours, but the whole 24 hours, even I get a single minute free, I used to sit and study.
So you tell me right now that you studied only for 1 month, dedicatedly and seriously. This is what I understand.
Yes, before that, before traveling to India, I used to do my study, like maybe for around 4 to 5 hours. But the last 1 month was like continuously, I used to study every single minute.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you have been studying before, but dedicatedly you can say that you studied for the last month.
Yes.
Okay, we have
Yes.
another feedback, but Dr. Aisha is not here, but she told me that also she studied dedicatedly for 1 month. I cannot say this should be your manner regarding the exam. You have to give full time for this exam. You have sometimes to sacrifice many things in your lives for this exam because the exam is not easy nowadays. The new pattern is not easy. If you
Yeah.
don't pick up the signal of ADC, it's not easy to pass this exam. So you need to be very professional. I want to say, Dr. Shweta, for everyone who is attempting in the future the written exam or even for the clinical exam, everyone need to be very professional regarding the patient, regarding your colleague, the physician. Always strive to be professional. Okay. Be real with your patient. Just tell the truth. However, you should show empathy. How did you find showing empathy in the exam? How did you answer the question with showing empathy in the exam? How did you find this, or how did you deal with this kind of question, Dr. Shweta?
So basically, this exam, we did have few new questions which we hadn't seen before. This question I could answer only because I had some sort of basic knowledge that I had gained from all your materials, the articles which I had been through, because domestic violence is something which we haven't done before. Because child abuse is the topic which we used to always focus, but domestic abuse is a bit different. So I could answer these sort of questions only because I had seen the articles and gone through the compiled file in detail, in depth. Because each time I had some sort of doubt, I used to go back to the compiled file, search for the word that is close to the compile, the word which topic which I'm looking for, go through the article. That is the main thing. What helped me was each question had a link attached to it, had article, had reference attached to it. That really helped me a lot. So I used to go to that and take that reference and do my own bit of research and get to know in depth about the topic. So in this way I could answer, thinking as an Australian dentist, this is how I could answer. rather than like sitting and by hearting the answers or like stressing on getting to know the answers. I used to read and get to know more on the important topics.
Yes. Thank you, Dr. Shweta, for your feedback. Congratulations. I would like to say congratulations to everyone who passed this exam, and of course, hard luck for every unfortunate candidate. Um, as I promise every time, I'm promising again to help everyone who was not fortunate to pass this exam. At the same time, I wish success for people who pass the written exam in their clinical exams. Soon we would listen about your success. So I wish you success in your clinical exam. Thank you very much for your valuable time. Thank you for your valuable experiences, your stories. Every one of you is precious to me as a human. So I wish you all the best in all your life. Thank you very much. Thank you.